Hello Spawn fans and welcome to another video. This one is going to be a video of some Spawn variants that I picked up and some Spawn related items. We're kind of going to start with this first one. This is Deadly Tales of the Gunslinger Spawn, issue 1, the 1 in 50 variant. Now this comic is like really sort of like picked up in value. It shot up to about a $350 book, and it's kind of settled back down to earth at about, I'd probably say realistically, about a $200 book. Still pretty valuable. I actually got this one for $13. There was 3 available. If I'd known it was going to go up so much, I probably would have bought more of them and tried to flip one on eBay. But as it is, it really is a cool cover. I mean, the black and white version is awesome. There's a color version of this cover. There's 3 actual versions of it. This tells the origin of the Gunslinger Spawn. And I think it's going to be a good series, all in all. But if you can get this comic for a good price, I suggest it. Like I say, wish I had picked up more than one if I'd known. That spot on it's actually on the bag, not the comic book, but it's an awesome McFarlane black and white cover. There's a color version, like I said, but this one looks way better. This variant cover is from issue 100. It's a Mike Mignola cover. He's mostly known for doing Hellboy. That's his bread and butter. But this is actually a really cool cover. Issue 100, it's not really worth a whole lot, but the art is actually really cool. I think with his art style, it would have been cool to have him like have done at least a couple of issues or maybe a mini series of Spawn, because I think he would have done it right. So I've kind of overlooked this one a few times through my collecting of Spawn, but after circling it back around and getting to it, I'm like, you know what? This is actually a pretty cool cover. So to me, I was like, this is worth picking up. This is Spawn 200. This is a 1 in 10 Greg Capullo cover. And not a whole lot to say about it. They made many variants of this, just like they did issue 100. But, I don't know. I kind of dig it. So I thought it was kind of cool, so to each their own. This is issue 250. This is a Skottie Young variant. Now, for the longest time, I've never really been a big Skottie Young fan. I've never really cared for his Calvin and Hobbes kind of art style, even though I actually like Calvin and Hobbes. But this sort of grew on me, and I came across it, and I was like, you know what? I like this. So I picked it up. There's actually a 1 in 100 version of this comic that's a black and white version of this exact same cover. And I've seen a lot of Skottie Young covers, even though I don't collect them, but I don't think I've ever really seen them so much in black and white. So I could be wrong. There could be a lot of variants of Skottie Young that are black and white, but the one I've only seen that he's done is the Spawn 1 in 100. Now that one goes for quite a bit of money and is very hard to find. But if you could get it, I highly recommend it. I wish I could get it. Probably couldn't find it if I wanted to or afford it. But I don't know. Like I say, came back around again and I actually kind of like the Skottie Young cover. So I thought it was kind of cool. This is the Spawn #1 Director's Cut. This is based off, I think, the Ultimate Spider-Man 1 Mark Bagley cover. I never had any of those Spider-Mans, but I know what it is from the cover. And it's kind of cool. This gold version is really neat. Reprint Spawn 1 in black and white with a lot of story notes and things like that. It's kind of a really cool go through, and it's a really cool cover. They've got a regular cover of this, which isn't as fancy looking, but I really like this fancy looking one. Now, I'm not sure if these are all considered a second print or not, because I've seen them CGC and they say second print, but I don't see second print on it, and I didn't see it on the inside, so I don't know if it's just considered a second print, if there's a first print or second print. Not 100% sure, but it's still a pretty cool comic to have. Okay, Image United. I've talked about these on a previous video that I've done, and done a little bit more research since that video. Now, this was the first appearance of Omega Spawn. This came out around 2010, 2012. One of those 2 years. Not 100% sure. I'm thinking probably more closer to 2012. But Image United was basically every Image character and stuff coming apart or coming together, and Omega Spawn was supposed to be the big bad. Now, at this time period, it was Jim Downing that was Spawn, not Al Simmons. So, Omega Spawn is basically this big evil Spawn that eventually, in the lore, goes to outer space and recruits other spawns, or not recruits other spawns, just try to conquer the universe and stuff like that. This is the Spawn version variant of issue 1, which is kind of, it is a cool cover. But they were originally going to do 6 issues of this series, but they only got to 3. I'll touch on that a little bit more in a second. But this is a cool cover. Probably about a $25 comic book. It's still cool to have. This one I've touched on in another video. This is issue 1G. They did very many variant covers for this. This one's one of the most valuable of the first issues, minus the second print, and minus, I think there was a black and white version or something like that. That's kind of rare. This is a Jim Lee cover. Awesome. Cool to have. Kind of valuable, kind of rare. You don't see it much out in the wild or on eBay. So, cool to have. Jim Lee cover. You can't go wrong with Jim Lee. This is issue 2. The, I think, 2A version. Todd McFarlane cover. All these covers were sort of interconnecting with most of them. So this would be the one that started it off. Another cool cover. This would probably be the first full appearance, is what they would classify Omega Spawn. The first one being the cameo, even though, even if it's a cameo and he's on the cover, I'd say it's the first appearance, but however you want to collect them. This is 2G. This is a Greg Capullo cover. This is also quite rare. This is, out of all the rare variants, this one's probably right up there with it. You just don't see these often available on eBay. I've looked up sales for a lot of these, and they're really just not there. So it's hard to really gauge the value of what these go for. But I think they go for a decent amount. Like if I was to put all these variant covers up for sale, I could probably get some good money for them. And it's an awesome cover. This is issue 3G. This is a Del Keown cover. Now, this one's even harder to find than all the other ones from what I've looked at as far as, like, sales. I don't know what this goes for. Now, somebody has it up for sale on eBay for $300. Do I think it goes for that? No, I don't think it goes for that at all. But what people ask and what people will get are two different things. Now, the thing with Image United, it was supposed to be a 6-part series. It lasted 3 parts, and Omega Spawn was supposed to be the big bad character that all the Image characters had to unite up against to beat. But at this time period, Spawn comics were in what they would consider the low print runs. These were coming out at probably around, well, a few issues before issue 200 of Spawn. These were the low print runs. And Image in general just wasn't doing good. So Spawn wasn't doing good, and that's their bread and butter. This wasn't doing good. Eric Larson, the creator of Savage Dragon, who kind of spearheaded this whole project, even came out and said, like, yeah, this series is kind of dead in the water. So, supposed to be a 3 out of 6, or supposed to be a 6-issue limited series. It never got past issue 3. So, it was what it was. The series just died there. Omega Spawn kind of, he came back into the Spawn mythos later on, but he was kind of dead there. This Spawn comic, this is the issue 61, first appearance of Jessica Priest. I'm a big She-Spawn fan, and she's the current She-Spawn. There's supposed to be a series coming out about her later on. I've got a couple issues of this already, so there's not a whole lot to say about this one, but if you're like a newsstand variant person, I found this newsstand variant, so I thought it was kind of cool. I'm like, well, I've got 2 issues of her. She's one of my favorite characters in the Spawn mythos. I'll take the newsstand, considering it was in good shape, so went ahead and got it. This isn't really a Spawn comic at all. It's just a Spawn homage cover, but I thought it was cool. This is Mark Spears Monsters. This is a new series that's out right now. Mark Spears is known for like drawing like basically all those Universal monsters from back in the day, Dracula, Frankenstein. I mean, you name it, he did it. If it's a creepy creature, he can draw a cover. But he actually does an entire series, the Eternal Art and everything. So, I think it's probably a cool series to pick up outside of Spawn. But being a Spawn 1 homage, I was like, I'll take it. These really aren't worth anything. Angela Glory. This was a whole little series that goes across a whole bunch of different comics that I don't have yet. But I came across these for like $1 a pop, so I wasn't going to pass them up. Pretty cool. This is a Rob Liefeld cover, so I'll take it. This is a variant of the exact same issue. Also, I think looks cool. I'm not really sure who the character Glory is, but I'll take it. This is Spawn Wildcats. This is a 4-issue limited series. It's written by Alan Moore. I've kind of skimmed through them. I haven't really read them yet. I just picked them up. They were $1 a pop, and I thought, why not? Alan Moore is a great writer, so I figured I'd get them. Also, this issue 1 is a newsstand. There's issue 2, kind of your cool 90s art that you're accustomed to seeing. Issue 3, this is Image, 90s at their best. And issue 4, which is also a newsstand. Cool little Spawn cover. Now we're here to a Spawn Origins hardcover book 14. This one is relatively new. I think 15 is the newest one that's out. I love these Spawn hardcovers. They're just totally awesome. I think if you're just going to read Spawn, which I always think that they should be read, the backs have such like cool black and white art prints, and they just collect. This one collects issues 164 through 176. So this is right after the Armageddon series. So you're basically getting Spawn, redoing the Earth. You get first Mandarin Spawn. You get first Gunslinger Spawn. All of those are reprinted in this hardcover. And if you just want to read Spawn, I highly recommend it. Now, I always get into the Spawn cards. I stick a lot of Spawn individual cards in the back of a lot of the comics I have for about the first 75 issues of just random cards, just to make them a little bit cooler. And this I came across is just a random unopened pack of cards. I was like, cool. I'll stick that in something. I came across this card, a little hollow foil sort of card. Thought it was kind of neat. I'll stick it in the back of a Spawn comic as well. And I came across my first graded card. This is the first one I've got that's graded. Sort of like a CGC. This one is not. It's GMA. I have no idea about anything when it comes to these grading companies. I know that they do Topps Beckett. They do CGC. Obviously, whatever this GMA is. This is only an 8.5. I would think in comic book terms it wouldn't mean much, but this says near mint plus, so I'm not 100% sure. This is a gold foil wizard card. I don't know what these things go for. I really have no clue. I spent 20 bucks on this, and I don't know if I got a good deal or didn't. I've seen these raw, and they're all sealed when they're raw from Wizard, and people ask 50 bucks for them. I don't know. Like I say, this one's obviously not sealed like the ones I see. But for 20 bucks, I was like, you know what? I think it's kind of cool. I kind of like these little graded cards. So I might try to get into a little bit more graded cards if I can find them for like cheap prices. I'm not trying to spend more than like probably $25 a card. Then I've seen them sell for a lot more than that, or ask for a lot more. But I don't know. I'd like to add a few of these to the collection just to throw it in, just to have them with all my comics and stuff. So If anybody knows anything more about some of these variants or Spawn cards or anything Spawn in general, please leave a comment and tell me what you know. I'd love to hear it. Like I say, I could talk Spawn all day. I appreciate y'all watching and have a good day. Thank you.